Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have another Jurassic World Dominion set to take a look at today. This is a very interesting micro collection figure set, and this is not something we've ever had from Mattel before. We have had some micro collection figures. In fact, we've only ever had pretty much two waves. We had a few different figures that they had released, and then they went ahead and released a few more recently, and now this is the first time we've had some sort of a play set with this line, which I think is actually really quite exciting, because maybe that means they'll breathe a little more life into this line at some point. I'm hoping so, because I actually genuinely enjoy these kind of minifigures that they have here. They're more like hatchling dinosaur figures, and I would like to see more of them in the future. And again, especially when it comes to play sets and stuff, because anytime we can get some sort of a cool play set, I'm all in. But as you can see, this time we have a pretty cool micro collection set that includes kind of the Jurassic World gates, and we also have a Velociraptor. I guess this one would be blue. Maybe it's meant to be beta. I'm not positive. I don't know that it actually says it here on the box anywhere. And they have released this figure prior as Velociraptor Blue, so I would say it would be blue, but since it's Dominion, maybe it's meant to be beta. I'm not too sure, but you can see as far as the set goes, again, you can see the little window area up here sporting our baby Velociraptor figure, and then an area down here kind of showing off what is included in the box. And then also a sneak peek of the gate aspect. Here on the side, you do have Velociraptor Blue. Let's see if we've got... Nope, I thought maybe we'd have Beta on the other side, but no dice. We also have the Jurassic logo right there. And then again here on the back, kind of showing off some of the aspects to this set, which isn't all that clear to me. I don't know if I'm just not intelligent enough to follow what we're... Oh, actually, straight away, this says Velociraptor Blue. So this is Velociraptor Blue, not Beta. So we have now cleared that up, but I don't know if I'm just not intelligent enough to understand what I'm seeing here, but I don't think it perfectly explains to me what I'm looking at as far as this set goes, and I think I'm really going to have to figure it out by opening the package up and checking it out. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So here are our gates. Here is our little Velociraptor Blue. This is also the first time we've had one of those micro collection figures that have arrived independent here on its own. It usually has a little base, a little stand under it. This time we don't have that. It's actually just the figure itself, and as you can see, it can stand pretty nicely. But again, we have the gates here. Kind of a nice looking Jurassic World logo, though it's only a sticker. It's not any type of an amazing 3D sculpted part of the model. It's just basically the outline to the logo, and then of course a sticker applied. But you can see as far as the gates go, they look pretty nice. We're actually just going to take the Velociraptor here out of the way a little bit. They look pretty nice. You've got that nice rocky look to the outside. Let's see if we can open our gates up. So yes, we absolutely can. Our gates do open, and now we can kind of get a sneak peek of what's going on inside. We've got a gyrosphere in there. It looks like we've got ourselves a cage over here, and we turn it around, we can see the back and everything. And there's a button up here. I'm not sure what that's for exactly. I don't know. It's got something going on. We can open this one up. And then we knocked our raptor over, but we've got a gyrosphere that pops out. And a nice little earthy area. And then we've also got a cage over here that I assume would be to trap our Velociraptor potentially. And definitely looks kind of cool. Again, for what it is, it's definitely something neat, and I like that Mattel has gone ahead and created something like this that's a little bit out of their ordinary for them. So we're going to go ahead and jump to a really quick closer look just to check this stuff out, and then we'll again figure out all of the aspects of this set afterwards. So as far as our gates and all of that fun stuff goes, you can see that again we have the area over here that does have kind of an articulated cage to drop down and probably to catch our Velociraptor. And you can definitely see that the cage itself actually looks pretty good. When you get nice and close, you can see that the fine detail on that is pretty nice. It kind of has that iron type of a look to it, sort of bumps and imperfections on it, which I really do like. I love that Mattel has gone through the trouble of kind of giving that a realistic look. It's painted with a nice dark brown. There's not really any color variation or anything to it, but it definitely looks really nice. You can see again that we have that kind of wood-like effect for the inside as well. You can also see the inside of the gates themselves, again showing off that wood-like effect. Maybe not the most perfect coloration for what I would imagine would be on Jurassic-type gates. It's a little bit too bright for me, but it still looks okay especially as far as the sculpting and detailing aspect goes. And then over here, we can pull this out, and you can see that we have a nice little kind of a vegetation, a little earthy area actually specifically, because although it's all entirely green, kind of looks like we have like rocks and stuff there on top of the kind of grassy or mossy type of a look that we have for that area. Nothing amazing, but it still looks pretty cool. And then we've got ourselves a gyrosphere, and the gyrosphere also looks pretty nice. I don't recall this particular version being released in any other sets. You can see that the inside is actually kind of articulated, like it moves as we move the gyrosphere, just like they do in Jurassic World. We've got a double-seated gyrosphere here, so if only we had little figures to put in there, maybe some of those smaller Mattel figures that they've recently released. I don't know if the gyrosphere opens or not. I'm thinking not, but I don't want to chance it and end up breaking it if it doesn't open. It doesn't seem like it does, but I'm sure you could pop it open. You can see there's little areas here where it kind of opens up briefly, and I'm not sure if that implies that it can open or not, but I'm not going to force it because I don't want to break it. It's kind of a pain in the butt set to find. I don't want to have to search it out again if I happen to break it, but you could probably put something in there to, somebody in there to sit in there, maybe some of the Mattel mini humans. I don't know if they'd fit in those seats or not, but they might. And then again, looking here at the rest of the set, you can see we have that nice wood-like look. Again, the gates look really nice. You can again see that look over here, but then you also have the outer edge here of our gates, which looks really nice, painted with a nice gray. You can see imperfections in that as well, giving it that really nice kind of a stone type of a look, which looks really cool. And you can again see the Jurassic World logo right there, which looks okay. Not really amazing, not super high quality, but again, it's just a sticker sitting on the set. And you also have your flames on the gates here, but the flames aren't painted, unfortunately, and we only have the flames there. We don't have them running along the front like you would expect to see on actual, Jurassic Park or Jurassic World gates. And then as far as our Velociraptor Blue, the sculpt is definitely the same sculpt as the previously released Velociraptor Blue, but there are differences. So if we bring the previously released version in, straight away again you can see that we had a base for the older one. We don't for the newer one, but even the color is different. We definitely have a slightly different shade of gray for the newer one, so that's definitely one difference. The coloration on the inside of the mouth is actually also different. We have a lighter tone of pink for the newer one, darker tone for the older one. And you can also see that the blue that is on the figure is also a different shade. We have kind of a lighter, brighter variation of blue, and the design as well is different as far as the way it's applied here on the newer one. We also have the coloration correctly running up and stopping before reaching the eye on the newer one, whereas it didn't do that on the older one. The eyes are still painted with a yellow, but the pupils, even though they're slit like pupils, are actually facing the opposite directions. And again, that's just a little bit of an interesting aspect to the figure. And if we look over here, you can again see now that the blue stripe does run up and over and under the eye and everything like it should on this side, and it also did on this one because it does on both sides, but definitely a little bit different. There's no coloration on the underside or anything, but it's still pretty cool to have, again, a slight variant, especially coming into this set. I thought this was the exact same release, just without a base, as our previously released version, and as it turns out, it is not. It is definitely a slightly different paint variant, and again, now without a base. Now, as far as a playability aspect goes with our set, so I would imagine we're going to probably drop this cage here to capture our Velociraptor. I'm thinking if we push this button, it's going to release the cage. It did, without any type of force at all, but it absolutely has captured our Velociraptor there. So Velociraptor Blue, baby Velociraptor Blue, is definitely captured in there. The other aspect of play for this is basically this little earthy area. You put that up, and then I guess you just pull it down. Actually, let me try to find a spot where I could do this without getting in the way. And that releases your gyrosphere, which just kind of rolls on out. Not the most exciting action features by any means included with this set, but considering this is kind of more like a really neat little budget set, something you would probably find at a store that wants to include some Jurassic merchandise without including some of the mainline stuff. Again, I would expect to see this in like a Dollar Tree or something like that. But again, it's still pretty cool. Definitely not the best Mattel playset out there, that's for sure. But it's also something that, again, if you find it for like $5-10, it's not a bad addition to your collection. Unfortunately, my local Ross did not have this, so I had to buy it off of eBay to grab myself one, but I didn't want to miss out on it because I actually really like the micro collection, so I just, again, snagged it from eBay. As far as a size goes, for the set for our little Velociraptor Blue, we have already reviewed and measured him before. That's why we didn't really go over him, just basically what was different, but we'll measure him again anyway. You're looking at about 2 inches in length or 5 centimeters, and then for a height, just shy of about 2 3/4 inches or around 4.5 centimeters. Actually, a little over 4 centimeters, closing in. Yeah, definitely closing in on about 4.5 centimeters. And then for our play set itself, once it's actually opened up entirely, you are looking at just shy of about 9.5 inches or 24 centimeters. And then for a height to the top of the flame right there, about 5 inches or 12.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our really cool, really quite small, or micro collection play set. And you can definitely see again that the set is pretty small like you would expect it to be. Again, being a micro collection set, you're not going to expect it to be very large considering micro is right there in the name. So I would say it probably is pretty much exactly the size I expected it to be. And then for one more size comparison, here is a Snap Squad Baryonyx and a Velociraptor, the Extreme Damage Velociraptor from Mattel for the Jurassic World Dominion line, next to our micro collection playset. Again, I don't feel like we need too many size comparisons. I figured just a few would help out and show you again roughly what the size is. But again, just expect it to be pretty small overall. So even though it's definitely not the best set ever, it's not the most exciting playset Mattel has produced, it's still pretty fun for what it is. It's just not something to go crazy over. If you are a fan of the micro collection like I am, you're probably going to want to go ahead and grab this set. And again, it is showing up in Ross stores. I don't know anybody else that has actually found it anywhere else other than Ross, but there are probably other stores, I just haven't heard about them yet. But again, the set is available there, or you could search online, so I would recommend grabbing it if you are interested. But if you're not a big fan of the micro collection, you're probably not really going to care too much about the set, and it would probably be an easy pass, because as far as a playability standpoint goes, there's not really too much to it. It is cool that you can open the gates. I do like that aspect of it. I also like the fact that you can kind of capture and trap your Velociraptor there in the back. The gyrosphere is a pretty fun addition to the set, but the playability aspect of that isn't really that great. The cage dropping down is pretty cool overall, but it doesn't really have much force, so it drops really weak and isn't the most effective action feature we've seen on a playset. But again, still, as a whole, it's pretty neat, really highly detailed for sure, and definitely a fun collectible. And then we have our little Velociraptor Blue, which as far as a hatchling Velociraptor Blue goes, it's definitely really cool. Not perfect as far as the coloration or anything goes and the design of the blue stripe and everything, but it's just kind of like a stylized, adorable little baby version of a Velociraptor Blue. Not even screen accurate as far as what it looks like in the Jurassic films, but still kind of cool. So as a whole, it's definitely a really cool set. Not amazing, but really cool. And if you're, again, a fan of the micro collection like I am, I would really recommend grabbing it. So if you are interested, check your local Ross. I'll try to find one online somewhere that I can include in the description if I can, but it'd probably be eBay and a little bit higher price than you'd pay in store. Kind of the way I went with it. But one way or another, definitely pick it up if you'd like to grab it, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.